All right, Brandon O'Joy, footballhotbed.com, here with Coach Roger Harriott, St. Thomas Aquinas, nationally ranked St. Thomas Aquinas um, Raiders coach. Every year it seems like you're at the top of the food chain, but we know that it's more to it than just coming out and winning. Every year you have a different set of challenges. This year you've added a tremendous coaching staff to complement the staff that you already had, but you've had some shuffling to do or whatever. Just talk about the offseason bringing us up to this current point, ranked, consensus top 5 in the nation. What's the outlook moving forward with all the things that have happened during the offseason?
We've had an exceptional offseason. I mean, we focus on mental development and training. We have a strong spiritual component. As you know, Desmond Cook did a great job coming in. The Broward County director for the FCA helped us with, bringing more of a structure with regards to the spirit within our approach from traditional Roman Catholic environment. So we have an enormous responsibility amongst each other to represent the Lord and to do things in an amicable way that reflects on what it means to be a good person and do the right thing. And as we establish that foundation, then we can get into the physical and the emotional, psychological development of our players. And we're blessed with attracting some extraordinary individuals who are family oriented, who do a great job of motivating and inspiring our young men not only to be exceptional football players, but strong, productive community members of society. And our objective is to ensure that we're facilitating an atmosphere, a more therapeutic type of environment that's conducive to each of our children to aspire for championships as human beings, not just as players. So we're really fixated on taking this above and beyond the field and helping them realize that we have a platform to not only attract intercollegiate exposure and facilitate their needs to be intercollegiate athletes, but also to help them become champions within their lives as aspiring husbands and fathers to make this world a much better place. So we're really utilizing football as a tool to meet those objectives and goals.
And you talk about that, the theme, you go, we go, some of the spiritual elements. You see that playing out on the football field with the development of the character, the spiritual development of the character of the kids. But most importantly to me, when I came out to practice the other day, the coaches, you don't see as much of the profanity. You see everybody kind of changing. Your weekly reminders on the weekends. Look, weekend decisions. And let's be fair. You can focus on sort of these types of things when you have a team that's just so talented. And the focus isn't always getting them to play at the highest level necessarily because you got great athletes. Now you can take it a step further and say, yeah, you're a good athlete, but are you a better person? In your, third season, is the culture changing to the pace and the place where you want it to be in? And what more do you have to do to get it to where you want to be in this program?
Well, we're very fortunate to have a substantial amount of support from, obviously, our athletic director, Coach Schmidt, and the head of our school, Monsignor Vincent Kelly, and our principal, Dr. Denise Aloma. And they've allowed us to have an opportunity to establish a culture of interdependence, where we're really fixated on developing a team-oriented family type of atmosphere. And the you go, we go concept really is about unity and collectively coming together for a greater good. So we understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we learn how to share within our strengths and improve on our weaknesses. And our for this season, our biblical message and Bible verse for you go, we go is John 15:5, where Jesus talks about, yes, I am the vine, you are the branches, you remain in me and I will remain in you. Without me, you can do nothing. So we're trying to help our players realize from a spiritual standpoint, You need to have a meaningful and personal relationship with your Lord and Savior Christ, but also from a faith-driven standpoint amongst each other, it's important and more advantageous for us to work in collaboration with each other to reach a certain objective and meet certain goals. So we're trying to establish that type of atmosphere to win games as a byproduct and championships, and ultimately help them realize that you have way more value than just a football. And our players have been extremely receptive to it. What we've noticed was some real camaraderie, facilitated and inspired by the coaches that we have. And with regards to our approach to life, our thought process, and the language that we use, the love language that we use with regards to meeting expectations and leadership, and helping them understand that this is a process that you have to put a lot of time and trust in with regards to being a productive member of society from a spiritual, philosophical, and a physical standpoint.
Last question. You brought in some key coaches, Coach Sam Madison, Coach Jason Taylor. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He actually pushed his departure back to go to Canton this weekend.
We're proud of him.
To coach. What does it mean to have a guy like him, and even his son is in your program?
Yeah, his son's in our program. They're a part of our family. They're a great extension of what we perceive as our last name, being St. Thomas Aquinas. And with him and Sam Madison, in addition of Ryan Collins, Nick DeAndre, Jerry Johnson, with linebackers, and now we have Rod Payne, who came over to us. He's also an FCA director and representative. He's from Dade County, played for Killian, then went on to play for Michigan, and finished up with the Bengals and played in the Super Bowl with the Ravens. So we're blessed to attract these exceptional individuals, and I think they're a great representation of what we stand for with regards to faith, family, tradition, and excellence at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Faith, family, tradition, excellence. Coach Roger Harriott, head coach, St. Thomas Aquinas. Brandon O'Doy, it's a high bid board.